Hello and welcome to a new lesson for English learners in grade 7. I'm Sanja Božinović, your English teacher. Our today's lesson is I'm nobody, who are you? In today's lesson you will be able to understand the text of a poem about identity, and you will be able to read aloud nicely using the intonation and the accent to enrich your message, and you will be able to write a text on the same topic. For this lesson you need your pencil and your notebook. You need your tablet, laptop or your mobile phone. You will need your headphones because you will listen to a poem and you will try to record your voice reading the poem. Let's see what I prepared for you. Our first task is guess who. We are guessing a person, and you can already guess it's a poet. She wore her hair in a braided bun, Punjab bun, braided bun, and she always wore a ribbon around her neck. She was famous for being always dressed in white, color white. She was an introvert. That means that she didn't like talking to other people, being in the company of other people. She preferred to be left alone to her writing, gardening, being at home. She was a loner, always alone, instead of being in the company of other people. That's what she preferred. Yet she was a famous person. 1,800. She wrote 1,800 poems. Can you imagine that number? She was born in Amherst, Massachusetts, where she lived and died. She was a female poet, and her name was Emily, and she was born in 1830 and she died in 1886. Can you guess now? If you're not watching this lesson on TV, but you are working on it in front of your computer, you can pause this video and try to find the answer. Can you guess who she was? Emily, a poet from Amherst, Massachusetts, born in 1830, died in 1886. She wrote around 1,800 poems. And she was famous as an introvert, a loner, always dressed in white, with a ribbon round her neck and a braided bun, her hair in a braided bun. Yes, she was Emily Dickinson, and today's poem is I'm Nobody, Who Are You?, one of her famous poems. In this poem, she calls herself nobody. Can you imagine why? Nobody means no one, no person, somebody who has no importance. Why would she call herself nobody? Remember what I said about her life. Nobody, no one, of no importance. That means that she preferred to be anonymous, not known, not famous. Do you know that because she preferred to be a nobody, she didn't publish her poems while she was alive? Her first book was published after her death. What is opposite of nobody? Somebody, somebody, someone. If I say that in this poem that could be an opposite, who would you call somebody if nobody is someone of no importance, anonymous, private person? Who is somebody? Somebody is someone everybody knows about. People know that person. That's a person in the public eye, a public figure. Maybe a famous person. Before we go on discussing why it's better to be nobody, or why it's better to be somebody. Let's focus for a moment on these words, nobody, somebody. They are both indefinite pronouns. If you have learned indefinite pronouns, you will know that in positive, affirmative sentences, we can use some plus body or one for a person, somebody, netko, or someone. When the meaning is negative, you use no plus the same last part. Nobody, no one, nitko. In questions and in sentences where the verb is negative, you cannot use somebody and nobody unless in some special cases. You usually use any. Any plus the same second part. Anybody, anyone. So you say, I've seen somebody famous. Have you met anyone famous? I don't know anyone famous. No one famous has ever come to our town. So these are used for people, plus to talk about every or all people, you use everybody and everyone. I will remind you that there are indefinite pronouns for things and for places too. The first part is always the same and the rule is always the same. Some, no, any, and every, of course. But for things, you cannot use body or one. For things, you use thing. And you say something, nešto. Nothing, ništa. Anything, išta. And you can talk about places. The same rule, the same first part. But for places, the second part is where. And you say somewhere. Let's go somewhere nice. There is nowhere nice near here. Have you been anywhere nice lately? So, these are indefinite pronouns. If you have learned them already, this table will help you repeat a bit, remember what they are. And if you need more practice, here's an exercise for you. Complete these sentences with the words that are above them. If you are sure you can do it without any practice, you can do it here. If you need more practice, or if you would like to go through these sentences with more time on your hand, there's exercise on word wall. Here's the link, bit.ly indefinite 7. You can go to this link and you will find the same exercise there, only you can do the exercise many times. You can measure the time you need and you can see all your correct answers. And you can get back to it anytime you want, of course. Now let's see. I have seen somebody famous. I don't know anyone famous, because it's negative. The sentence is negative. Is there, it's a question, anything interesting? Let me tell you, it's about a thing, something important. When you are famous, you can't go, the verb is negative, anywhere. Likes when people don't, it's negative and the verb is positive. No, nobody likes when people don't respect. And there is, I could add, there is nothing. Let's go on. If you need more time with this exercise, here's the link and you can go to word wall to do it again. This text is the full text of the poem. This poem is in public domain, which means that you can print it, you can record it, and you can use it any way you like. I will give you some short time to read it, and before you start reading the poem, Here are the words that I thought might be a bit difficult. Nobody in the first line means no one. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there is a pair, two of us, pair. Don't tell. That banish us. When you banish, you get rid of somebody, someone, because you don't want that person or that thing. How dreary, boring, not nice, to be somebody. How public, known, existing in open view. Like a frog, you know the animal frog, žaba. Like a frog, to tell your name. Frog to tell your name the livelong day, all day long, livelong day, to an admiring bog. Bog is the swamp where frogs live. Okay, you can read the poem once again. Look at the words. Why is somebody, that public person, that known, famous person, maybe a celebrity, like a frog? What does a frog do in the swamp? Croaking all day long, communicating to other creatures in the swamp, but communicating about itself. The same goes for a famous person, a public person, the way the poet sees somebodies. A somebody is like a frog, communicating about what that person does, likes, is to other people all the time, livelong day. Our next task is listening. You will access the recording of this poem in the audio library called LibriVox. LibriVox.org is the audio library where you can find the recordings of various works of art, poems, stories. Different people read them and leave the recordings in that audio library. And there are 17 recordings, 17 people read the same poem, and you can go to LibriVox. You will find the link on the next slide. LibriVox, and listen to all 17 if you like. Or you can listen to 1, 2 or 3, as many as you like. Here is a reminder that we have to learn the words, and let's listen to one of the versions of this poem.
I'm Nobody by Emily Dickinson. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog, to tell your name the livelong day, to an admiring bog. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
And you can find this and all other recordings if you go to this link, LibriVox.org/I'm Nobody by Emily Dickinson. When you have listened to various recordings and paid attention to how different people read the poem, the same poem, how they use accent, how they use intonation, then you can try yourself. Try reading this poem. Read aloud. Pay attention how you do it. You want to tell other people not only the words, but how you understand them. When you're happy, use your voice recorder. You can find it on your tablet, laptop, on your mobile phone, and you can record your voice, yourself reading the poem. What can you do with the recording? First of all, you can listen to yourself to hear how good you are at reading. Then you can send it to a friend. It's a nice message. You can send it to a teacher with a question to tell you what he or she thinks of your reading. Then, when you have finished reading and recording, we will talk some more about the topic of this poem. Nobody or somebody. In the poem, the writer, the poet, talks about privacy, or the Americans would say privacy, and being someone public. We'll call it celebrity. And we'll discuss now the topic of being a private person or living a public life. If you are not watching this lesson on TV but working on it on your computer, you can pause the video now and you can make notes about these two different things, these two arguments. Is it better to be a private person? What are your arguments? What are your examples of being a private person which is better than being somebody? Or vice versa? Why is being a celebrity better for you? Living a public life, being important, famous. Is it better to be a private, to be an anonymous person? Or is it better to be a celebrity, to be somebody who lives a public life? Why? What can you do better if you are nobody? What could you do better if you are celebrity? Why would you be happier being nobody or being somebody? Make your notes, and when you have written a few arguments and a few examples for one or the other, you are ready for our next task, and that is writing. When you have your argument and when you have your examples to prove it, you can write your short text. Remember, it should be 70 to 80 words long, in which you will describe why it is better to be a private person, nobody, or why it is better to be a public person, somebody. What are the advantages of one or the other? You will organize your writing into 3 parts. First, you'll state what you think, which is better. Then you will explain it in the second paragraph, and then you will state your opinion. You will give a conclusion to your writing. In your writing, you will make sure to use 3 or more of those indefinite pronouns. Somebody, someone, anyone, anything, nowhere, somewhere. 3 or more. And think of a nice title. Like, for example, being somebody, or the choice to be nobody. I'm sure you can think of an even better title, but you can use these if you don't have any better idea for the moment. And this checklist will help you. When you finish writing, go to this checklist and check. Have you given your writing a title? Is it 70 to 80 words and 3 paragraphs? 3 paragraphs are they an introduction, the body, and the conclusion? Have you given explanations and examples for your argument or arguments? And have you used 3 or more indefinite pronouns? If you have all ticks, if you can check all these, you've done well. If you haven't, go back to your text and make some changes. If you liked this poem, maybe you would like to learn some more. I will repeat. The name of the poet is Emily Dickinson, and there are 1,800 poems. Not all are suitable for you in grade 7. Some are too long, some are maybe too difficult for you to read and understand, but perhaps you could try these two. Dear March, come in, or Hope is the thing with feathers. I hope you will like them. That's the end of today's lesson. Goodbye and see you next time.